I'm just going to record this for others so that they can see. So if you don't want any video on or so, just keep it off, okay? Awesome. Okay. Guess we're just going to start. Um, cool. So lovely to have you all here. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat. And hello. Just going to text something. So whenever you feel like, please ask questions, raise hands. So that, whenever something comes up, I'm happy to reply to it. You can also unmute yourself. Then when the time is there, and ask questions. I want this call to be around an hour and not much longer, just because I think it's the evening and we all don't want to spend too much time. Cool, let's just start. So thank you all for joining. I'm talking today about how to unlock the power of your birth partner. I mean, I'm happy if you write all maybe the due dates of your partners or your own, just so that I know how far along you are, or your wives or partners. But basically, this is all about the man today, okay? Because you are very important when it comes to your birth. So please just mute everyone, whoever is not muted. Mute all. Okay. So this is about the partners today, because I believe you are all that we need as women when birthing. So you will find out today how you can support your partner to the best way possible to achieve hopefully a natural birth, or even if this is not the goal, let's say natural is anything which is vaginal birth, but my aim is always to prepare my women for an unmedicated birth, for a short birth, for a smooth birth. And this is where you are very helpful, because you are the support she needs only. Okay, cool. So just a quick introduction. My name is Maria. I have one son. I'm pregnant right now and expecting, actually, on my son's birthday, another baby. I'm originally from Germany. I moved here in 2014, and my journey as a doula started in like 2021. And yeah, so my expertise is that I'm a holistic birth doula. I'm supporting breastfeeding, baby sleep, baby massage, baby-led weaning, baby wearing. And I do a lot of deep subconscious mind meditations with my moms also, so that we really manifest the birth. We work through fears so that we really achieve the birth we want to have. And so far, it's doing quite well. Cool. So what can you expect from this call? Now, I would like you to learn, first of all, the basic needs of a woman, because you need to understand what a woman exactly needs in this moment to support her best. And then I would like to discuss the role of you as the partner throughout this birth, which tools you should be using, how long or how you can support at home. And then, because here, at least in the UAE, we birth in the hospital, how you can support in the hospital best, the birth plan, and also the brain method, which is very important. And then also the importance of birth preparation. Cool. So you're suitable if you're pregnant, of course. So hopefully everyone here is pregnant. looking for a natural, empowered, positive birth, and your partner is ready to support you, which is why you all are here. And also you want to invest in your birth, pregnancy, motherhood with education and whatnot. Cool. Let me just check if there's any questions so far. Okay, from UK. Awesome. Lovely. Awesome. So, what are the basic needs? Now, I like to compare this always with a cat. And because birth has so much medicalized that we really forget how birth is supposed to be. Now, if you think of a cat, how she's birthing her babies, maybe some of you have seen this before. I mean, back in the days, when we had cats, they just hide somewhere in a dark box, in a wardrobe, just somewhere where they feel safe and where it's dark. All right. And then they birth their babies one by one, and they are mainly undisturbed. If they are being disturbed, which means if any danger is coming up, like a dog or whatever it might be, they actually stop the birthing process, which means they can hold up for hours, for days, until they feel safe again to continue birthing the babies. Now, what do we have to do with cats? We're all mammals, okay? And for mammals, it's not an issue to birth naturally, just for us humans, because we think too much about this birth. Now, our thinking part of the brain comes in our way, and that's why nowadays we have, unfortunately, very high medicalized birth, very high epidural rates, and so on. So if we go back to the cat now, what is really important for us as well is that we have minimal or no use of any language in any form. What does this mean? Now, if your wife is, or partner is having a surge, we don't talk. Yeah, we don't really ask questions because we don't want to disturb this moment of going through a surge. And because any talking is like a distraction directly. And so instead of managing, breathing through, moving through, we're focusing on activating the thinking part of our brain. And then we realize, oh, there was actually quite some pain there. Yeah. But if we don't, we really focus on breathing, and surges are easily manageable. Now also minimal or no light. Again, the cat is birthing in her black box. And same for us. If we have all this bright light, and that's why most of the births are in the middle of the night. If we have all this bright light here, it's killing our oxytocin. We're overstimulated because we see everything. We're distracted. So it really makes us focus too much then on the surges, which we actually don't want. We want to surrender, and we want to really go through and breathe through the surges. Then also we need to feel warm and safe. Now, safety is a very, very big factor. Now, again, I don't know if anyone, I saw someone is from the UK, if anyone is doing a home birth, but in the hospital, how does it work? The midwife comes in, there's people around, doctors, and so it's always someone who interrupts this birth, right? And which means that every time you need to focus, you need to answer questions, and your brain is thinking, okay, I'm not safe here. Which is why many times when women go to hospital and the birth stalls, which means the surges just become less, even though it was like every 4 minutes at home, every 3 minutes. And then we reach the hospital and it's like, oh, it just stopped. It's as if, you're not birthing anymore. And it's just because your brain is the cat again. It's like, no, I'm not safe. I'm stopping here. Sometimes you might hear from friends, for example, because everyone likes to share their birth story. And unfortunately, most of the time, not the nicest birth stories. they will tell you, I went and then I just did not open anymore. I did not dilate anymore because, we need to dilate up to 10 centimeters in order to get the baby out. And also we need to thin. Okay, so our cervix is thinning and like opening the dilation. And then they tell you, I just stopped at like 6 centimeters, nothing happened within hours. And it's just because there's too much disturbance. We don't feel safe. Okay, our brain, maybe you think you're safe, but our brain is so instinctive in this birth, it tells you I'm not safe. Yeah. And then removal of all non-beneficial forms of observation. So imagine, okay, now I always like to compare this with having intercourse. You would not be able to have intercourse in the hospital setting, right? When the midwives comes in and out, in and out. And this is really the exact same for birth. It's very intimate. And for us women, we really need to surrender and need to open up and need to be in this birth. So every disturbance, any observation form is really making us stall and not open up. Okay? So that's why super important for you guys to understand what is the basic needs actually during the birth, even for you, for every woman here, okay? But also I feel that for the men, it's really necessary to understand that maybe it's not the best to immediately rush to the hospital, yeah? Because I have this many times, like, let's say the water breaks. And if the water breaks, this doesn't mean you need to go to the hospital. The water breaks, this means you still have, at least here in the UAE, 18 hours. Not sure about the UK, but I guess it's quite similar. If the water breaks and the water is dark green, dark brown, then this means that the baby did the first poop. So you might be heading, at least call the hospital, tell them, hey, this is what happened. What do you suggest? So usually they want you to come over to the hospital. But if everything is fine, the fluid is transparent, pea-like, or even red, okay, red is completely normal. So when you see bloody discharge in the toilet, completely fine. Yeah, that's your body doing its work. So that's why you stay at home as long as you can, because if your water breaks and no surgery started, and you go to the hospital, and then what happens? They start inducing you, right? So they do all those unnecessary interventions. But if you remaining at home, this is your comfort zone, your safety zone. You feel safe at home, which means you will open up much faster at home. Yeah. Okay. Aiming for water birth unmedicated. Yeah, that's amazing. Wish you all the best. I have the most beautiful water birth experience. So really, I can only, if anyone is doing water birth here, or if anyone has a chance to do water birth, please do so. Water is the best pain relief, the most gentle way of welcoming your baby, the easiest for you to relax and to open up as well. Okay, so water is amazing and so underrated still now, but it's coming now. So really, if you have the chance, water birth, please go ahead. Cool. So now, your partner's role. There's a few things. It's not rocket science, so everyone is able to do this. And to be honest, because I told you before, no signs of like observation. If a woman feels observed, and now, for example, I'm a doula, I know I'm there present. I work with my moms throughout their birth, but sometimes I'm useless also because I have prepared the husband in such a good way that he's all she needs. And the intimacy, the oxytocin which the partner gives her is all what she needs. So in the end, I'm more of a disturbance there, right? So that's why really make sure that it's mainly you and another person you trust if you want someone else. But other people coming in, coming out, better not, okay? Because every time this is a disturbance. So first of all, just to chat, I heard induction is bad. Why is that? Also had some, yeah. Okay, so inductions are crazy. Now there's different types of inductions. There is some inductions which are with gel or tampon, and those are a bit of a gentle inductions. They might not work. If they fail, then they might induce again, and then they might go ahead for a cesarean. And then they have the Pitocin, where they put the cannula inside and just give you the oxytocin, the artificial oxytocin, to induce labor. What it does, and now sometimes when I have mummies come to me, first birth was induced. What it does is that it stimulates very strong labor. So, you have, instead of from 0 and like increasing, period cramps, and then it gets more and more and more. And then we have this very intense phase, which is very short, and then your baby is there. But if you have induction, you're in this intense phase from the beginning until the end, and you're forcing a process which might not work. Yeah, which means a process of your baby being pushed down artificially a lot. So many inductions end into cesareans, like 1/3 ends into a cesarean. And unfortunately, especially here in the UAE, but worldwide as well, a lot of doctors are nowadays pushing for inductions. So just today, I had one lady, met her in a cafe, and she told me, yeah, I'm so heavy. I went 2 weeks ago. I thought maybe I had surges, and it was 4 weeks before due date. And then this nurse was telling her, listen, if it's too much, just get induced. And that's so sad. And doctors do the same. They want to plan, especially when it's now, now it's travel time. Everyone wants to travel summer holidays. So they really push for it. Okay. They tell you, I'm going on vacation. If you want me to be there, and trust me, your doctor is not in your birth. If you want me to be there, then we can induce you before I leave. Yeah. So unfortunately, very high chances of inducing. So if ever you fear anything of this, or are facing anything of this, get a second opinion. Yeah. So really get a second opinion to know if this is right now required, if this is really necessary or not. Okay, good. I hope it's fine if I just reply the questions when they come in. Maybe this was not now related, but yeah, this could have been done in the end as well. Okay, cool. So just ask ahead, please. I'm happy to answer. My most used tools in labor. To be honest, get these, at least the first two. That's all you need, because when it comes to surges, like, first of all, we feel hot, we feel cold. So this hand fan, magic. Yeah, get two so that you can charge in between, because we might have 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. We never know, right, how long it is, but get two at least, so that you can always put some air into the mother's face, especially okay, I'm coming to the gun massage, especially when it comes to water birth also. Yeah, like, we feel super hot, so there's like no air coming in. So definitely a must, which you need to get. Amazon is your friend here. And then this massage gun, I'll tell you later where it goes to. But this massage gun is wonders, okay? Because you either do hip squeeze, which I will show you in the next 2 slides. If you want to do hip squeeze, this means you will work a lot as a partner. If you have this massage gun, you just hold it and you do that. Yeah, so typically lower back. And this thing has different, turn it on. Get always the chargers with you to birth, so you can charge at the same time. I mean, it has like different parts for the front, but I think this one is the nicest, to be honest. Different speeds, so really see how she likes it. But I will show you in a bit where this one is applied to. And then we also have the TENS machine. So the TENS machine is something like this. So again, you see the picture. This woman, she's actually pregnant. She has it on her lower back, and then up there in the middle of the back or just below the bra. So there is some which have only 2, but there is some TENS machines which have 4 as well. And I mean, for me, I feel it's enough too, but I think the 4 is even nicer because it gives you a lot of, it's not an electroshock, but it's like a little massage you're getting, but you can increase it. So when the surge comes on, you just press the button, you increase it as much as you need so that you have this counter pain, but it's distracting you a little bit from this from this pain, yeah, from the surge coming in. And especially if you have the surge, if you feel it on the lower back. Okay, so women feel it differently. Most of the times it's on the lower back. It starts like period cramps, or it's on the belly or lower back, and then it moves to the belly, and then it moves to the legs. So really depending on the stage of labor you're in. Okay, but those are my musts. I always have a comb as well. So this is a birth comb. Now I did not put it on the list, but just a normal comb which we use for, or which men use for their beard or so. Okay, yeah. So you press this, and this here is a meridian point which releases oxytocin. So if you press this as a woman, it distracts your brain as well from the surge which comes in. So sometimes I have women, they only hold these combs, and sometimes all I use is the massage gun and the portable fan. Yeah. Careful with the TENS machine if you have epilepsy. Yeah, of course. That's a very good point. Thank you for sharing this. So if you have epilepsy, of course, you need to always check whatever your condition is, what you can use in those cases, but definitely because it's giving you some electric impulses. Okay, so not sure about the birth. Most of the women I have heard, it depends on how bad the epilepsy is, would birth with pain relief, which means epidural. But I'm super happy to see that you birthed instead with 2 birthing combs. That's amazing. Yeah, but happy if you want to share more about it. So you saw some videos where moms also breathe into something while they are in labor. So we have laughing gas. Okay, so there's different pain relief methods from the hospital. So one is laughing gas, and then the other ones are epidural, which is the spinal injection. And then we also have pethidine. Pethidine is very similar to epidural. It just lasts for 4 hours or 2 to 4 hours. It's put in your thighs. But all those are drugs which have some effect. The laughing gas is very, very safe. It just gives you some bit of drowsiness, and the husband can use it as well. So if you are someone who is panicking quickly, then please use this laughing gas because you need to be relaxed. Okay, your energy is going on to your partner. So if you feel like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Breathe into this gas a few times, 3, 4 times, deep in, and then just relax. Okay, so that's very good. I have some women, they only birth with laughing gas. Okay, 7 hours straight through. It was fun. Yeah, so also this in the UK with the inductions, yes. Unfortunately, very common. They end up into cesareans, those inductions. Okay, cool. Those tools, really get them. Massage gun, portable fan. TENS machine is very good in the beginning. When you want to stay at home, you walk around and you just have this counter pressure or massage. It really does good. Yeah, and then the massage gun is really for whenever it gets more intense. The fan always whenever you need it. Cool. So now I would like you to remain at home as long as possible. If it's your first birth, okay, so whoever is having the first baby here, birth is not that fast. fast, okay? Now, second time, third time can be a bit different. Latest when your water breaks, I would head to the hospital from experience now. Unless you had a cesarean birth before, then this means your vaginal birth now is like a first birth. Okay, so if it's your first vaginal birth, remain at home as long as you can. Why? Because we need to be in this comfort zone to open up. Okay, your surges come. Now, for example, last night I had my mommy texting me every 5 minutes, every 5 minutes my surges are coming in. So if any regular antenatal class is telling you if you have surges every 5 minutes, just come to the hospital. So she had every 5 minutes, 1 minute long, seemed like, labor would start, right? It's been for like 3 hours and then labor stopped. Now imagine you would be in the hospital already because you thought every 5 minutes. Then what? Now the whole day, nothing. And it's evening again. So let's see if I'm tonight in the hospital, but imagine she would have been there the whole day. And what do? They start inducing you. Okay, they don't want you to stay there as long, or at least here we do 2 nights. So they are under pressure as well, and they will start the birth somehow. Okay, so that's why I want you to stay at home as long as you can. First birth, if you live like 15 to 30 minutes from your hospital, every 2 minutes, search, you can go. If it's a long time, how far along should we be to go to the hospital? Yeah, so if your birth starts and you have surges and it's like I want you to move through, your surges are like every 10 minutes, every 7 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, every 2 minutes. So when there is this time that you cannot speak in between the surges, this is when you hit transition phase. Yeah, so this means if you can still speak in between the surge, most of the times you're not that far, okay? Transition phase is the shorter phase. It's like 1-2 hours maybe. But this is where you might not speak in between the surges anymore, where you're just like, so if you see your wife being, not present anymore, this is where you should go. Yeah. So really know that you can remain at home for a long time. If it's your first birth, definitely. Yeah. Just because we if you think of all those medical TV shows which we watched as younger adults, when water breaks, you immediately go to the hospital. And in the end, your birth will not start. Normally not. Takes a while. Takes a few hours, maybe 1 hour, but maybe also 18 hours. Okay? So if you would go too soon, of course, they will start things. But this is in our brain, right? Water breaks, you go to emergency, and then the baby comes. But it's not the case. So I don't want you to be thinking, okay, I go to the hospital and my baby comes, and then you're wasting a day there. That's just a shame, You could be in your home, in your comfort zone, and really enjoying your bath, your shower, your food, your intimacy, your surrounding, your safety net. And this is what we need. So that's why remain at home as long as you can. How can you as partners support your wives or partners? Now, you can do hip squeezes during surges. Now, I'll show you in a bit how a hip squeeze looks like. You can do massages as well. I'll also show you. Something which is really, really, really important, because birth is oxytocin. Oxytocin is our happy hormone. How do we achieve our happy hormone? It's through gentle touches, kisses, whatever it is which helps you. This is supporting your birth as well. It can increase, fasten your birthing process. It can make it less painful as well, because the more oxytocin release you have onto your body, the stronger the contractions get. and the more endorphins our body is releasing, and endorphins are our natural painkillers. Okay, so really try it out. Your birth starts at home. Just have some new, like, couple time, whatever it may be, okay, to really get this birth going. Okay. And then always remind her to drink and eat and definitely go to the washroom. Okay, we really need to empty our bladder to create space for the baby to come out. Okay, so drinking, important. Put some salt into the water as well so that you hydrate faster, or some electrolytes. But that's your task there. Okay, you do hip squeeze throughout the surge or massages, kisses. You can tell her how amazing she is, but don't speak throughout the surge, okay? When there is a surge on and you feel like she's not there anymore, we just quiet. Okay, we let her, we do the hip squeeze, and then afterwards we tell her, "You're amazing, so proud of you." One phrase only. And then the next time you do the other phrase, okay? I'm proud how you manage. Yeah, I know you can do this. Okay, so really focus on her, how amazing she is. If she tells you I need some space, never be offended, okay? I felt my husband was like, don't touch me. Okay, so it was very, I was in this mood, I need to do this alone. And some women are like this as well. Okay, so if your partner is giving you the same feeling, then don't take it personally. Always just be there, present somehow, and try again at some point. Just not throughout surges, okay? Cool. So let me share the hip squeeze. Okay, so the hip squeeze is super, super important. And if you both are now sitting there, I would love you to try it out. Now, I have my pelvic floor model here, but you can see on the first picture, the very first picture, what you would need to do is that you really find, so ideally, your partner goes into this position, okay, like standing, and you find this bone here, okay? But I want you to not squeeze it like this, but you really squeeze it either straight. Now in this picture, he squeezes up, right? So you can see. So I want you to try to do both. Sorry. So your wife ideally is standing and leaning onto something, okay? A wall, a couch, anywhere, okay? And she's like leaning forwards to it, okay? So you can really grab the hips, okay? So I want you to go on the hips and feel where this bone is. You will feel it, right? And then you just try to press it throughout the surge. So you just keep the pressure on this. How is it easier? If you really lean onto her, okay? So normally I would like the partners to be like leaning onto their partner, okay? Because then you have the most strength for a longer time. Okay, so now the first picture you see here, he's not touching her back with his head, but I really want you to lean onto this head back, because you put more pressure, which is nice. Okay, we want pressure here. And then you squeeze the hips. Okay, so like you find it like a scoop and you squeeze. Okay, so you just squeeze it together. And you keep on holding this until the surge is over, which means you do this for like a minute or a minute and a half. And that's literally, not every woman likes it, but most do. Okay, so this is perfect whenever she's at home and you just swing her around. Okay, and you keep on holding this pressure until the surge is over. When the surge is over, you just give her a kiss, tell her how amazing she was, and that's it. Now, at some point, we might get tired. And when it's really getting intense, this is where our best friend comes in very handy. So the machine gun, or massage gun, machine gun, sorry, massage gun is what you put where the second picture where he puts his hands. Okay, so you can apply this pressure if you don't want to get this with your hands as well, but it gets a bit tired because you really need to push and it's super exhausting at some point, especially if you do this for a few hours. But if you have this gun, you put it on this lower back, okay? So now you see here the buttocks, the picture, the right picture from the massage, the buttocks picture or the sacrum picture. So this is around this area, you just feel like you just go along and you don't stick on the bone, okay? Just try where it's soft and nice. And she will guide you also. If it's painful, she will tell you, no, okay, remove. Yeah, like we don't need many words, but you will feel that it's not nice, okay? Or which she would say, move around, okay, move up. Yeah, but really, I want you to like just move it around. No need to put oil, okay? If you're in a bathtub, if you are doing water birth, then also please don't put any oil because we don't want the water to be a bit spoiled where the baby then enters and then probably applies to the skin. So, you know, we just keep it on. And this thing you can use perfectly in water. So if I have water birth, this one and my fan, all we do. Because in water, we don't really reach too much on the hips. So all we do is having this gun here. And, you know, of course, you should not immerse it completely into water, but until here, it's completely fine. Yeah. So that's how you support her throughout the surges. Don't talk, don't ask her, is this okay? Okay, maybe in the beginning, just to know, hey, am I putting the right point? She will tell you also, okay, but don't keep on interacting with her, right? Birth is super, it's a head thing, okay? She really needs to be in her zone, yeah? Sometimes, for example, if there's two people, especially if the partner does this massage gun, then what I'm really working on is giving massage on the upper back. So this is where I usually use the oil. This is what you can do as well. Are these guns useful during the pregnancy to support the back pain? Yeah, actually they are quite useful as well. If you have lower back pain, okay, very important, see an osteopath for every one of you. If you're hitting 39 weeks, 38 weeks, and you want things to start naturally, see an osteopath who's specialized in pregnant women. They will perfectly align everything so that you have a smooth birth. Yeah, because when birth is intense and painful, it means that either you're not moving much or your baby's in a wrong position. And this can be eliminated through the work of an osteopath. Okay, so if you have back pain, also definitely check with an osteopath. Or what I use, I'm having this here right now, but I have this roll. Okay, so it's like a thick roll, and I'm putting my lower back onto it. Lulu, I think you saw my reel. I'm just rolling my lower back on it, and I'm sitting in this. Okay, in this position, okay, like this, and then I'm just rolling my lower back on this roll up and down, up and down. So there's a reel. So whoever does not understand this right now, just go check my reel on sciatic pain. So this might help you as well for really back pain, especially if it's lower back pain. Yeah, but definitely the massage gun is good. I would be a bit careful with the TENS machine throughout pregnancy. Just because we don't want to trigger any acupuncture or acupressure points, you know. So acupuncture is a very good tool for when you're pregnant to induce labor, to work on any pain, but really be mindful of the TENS machine. Better to use it when it's really labor time. Okay, but the massage gun is quite nice. Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to the massages, again, it's not really like you don't need to think, okay, what was on the picture? Up and down, up and down. Just go with like whatever you feel. Just have always like either two hands or one, just avoid the spine. Of course, that's not very comfortable, but really focus mainly on the lower back because this is where we feel most of the pain. Yeah. Really, so focus on the lower back. That's why the massage gun, the hip squeeze, all those things are very practical and supportive. Okay, so this is what you do at home to remain at home as long as possible. Now, take bath. Okay, you ladies go shower, take the bath, use the birthing ball. Definitely, this is all what helps you. There's a lot what helps you throughout this time, but this is how your partner can support you the best way. Okay. Now, when it comes to moving to the hospital, because now we feel it's very intense, we feel like we cannot do this any longer at home. You might not be even present anymore, so your partner says, "Oh, let's go." Especially if you feel like pressing, pooping, that's okay. That's definitely time to go. Yeah. So then we have the hospital. Okay. Now I love those pictures a lot. It just shows how beautiful a birth can really be. I also have beautiful birth without bathtub. Make use of water though. Make use of the shower. If they have a bathtub, make use of it. Yeah. But labor as long as you can at home. If you don't have those things, labor in the bathtub or in your shower. When your water breaks, you can still use the bathtub at home. You can still use the shower at home. Just don't go to the pool, for example. Like I know a lot of us here in the UAE, at least we have pools at home. So don't use the pool when the water broke. Okay. But then we reach the hospital. So now you guys, your job is here to have the right setting. So first of all, we want to dim the lights. If it's bright outside, just close the curtain, blackout curtains, have it dark because we need our black box. Okay, we need to be in this dark box. Now get speakers with you, loudspeakers, so that you can listen to really nice, relaxing music. You ladies, create your playlist, different ones, one for labor, one for birth. Create your playlist in advance so that your partner knows what to play without asking you, because communication as limited as possible. Okay. Then the setting, have it nice, romantic, LED candles, light chains if you have. I have, you see these this blue light. Yeah, these are especially nice when you have kids. You might have it at home already. I have a little astronaut for my son, so in the end, it's like having like a universe in my house. So I use this one, very beautiful. Bring this with you if you have it already. If not, you might invest in it in any case. Your child wants to have this one at some point. So that you have a nice setting. Okay, really, it needs to be comfortable. It should not be hospital-like. Hospital rooms, I know maybe if you have seen them, not all are really nice, very sterile. So really make it like give it a personal touch. Okay, if you have something nice from home, bring it as well. And then no one is talking. Okay, again, it needs to be very calm and respectful. Now, many times the midwives come in, the door is super loud and noisy, and then they keep on talking and talking and talking. And then they want you to do stuff and they want to explain everything. And sometimes they want to argue as well. Okay, so for example, I had one birth and not everyone likes water because it's more work for them. Okay, so if you have a bathtub there and they don't want you to go in because they tell you no, this will stall your labor and stop it, bullshit. Okay, it will really just help you and it can actually decrease your labor. Yeah, because you are upright, and that's what we need. We need to be upright. We need to be moving. You are so much easier and like tolerating the surges. Okay, so if you have a midwife you need to argue with, you can always try and ask for a different one. Okay, so that's your job, man, here, as in you don't want to be arguing. If you need to argue, take her outside, this woman, and tell her, hey, listen, please, if you want to talk with me, talk outside, not in front of my wife. she's in the birthing state. Sometimes, of course, they're also just doing their job, and it's their responsibility at the end of the day. So, of course, they have a lot of responsibility to birth this baby, and a lot of birth. So it might be a lot for them, exhausting as well. So don't take it personal, but just have them listen. Is there someone else here? I feel it's not working out. Yeah, it's not working out. And they have a few midwives around, so maybe someone else can jump in. That's completely fine, okay, and it's your right as well to ask, yeah, because sometimes you might just not connect, and if your wife does not feel comfortable with this person as well, because we need to argue, maybe not the right person to be in your birth, okay? And a good tip, because if you have a good doctor who's on your side with all your birth plan and whatever your birth wishes are, always refer to her. Just tell the midwife, listen, did you check with our doctor? Can you call our doctor? Can you ask her? Just because sometimes they be like, okay, fine, you can use the bathtub. Yeah. Just really try to get your wishes through. It's your birth, not their birth. Okay, but you are the ones talking, okay, not your partner, not the birthing woman, because we really need to focus on birth. Okay, cool. All right, and then just a few more. The birth plan. So have a birth plan ready at whatever stage you are right now, even if it's very early, because now if you are even a few weeks ahead, just figure out how your birth plan should be like, because if you want to switch your doctors, especially in the UAE, we're quite easy to switch as well at the end, like at 38 weeks, some women are still switching doctors, because all of a sudden they discuss the birth plan and they figure out that this doctor is very unsupportive of their birth wishes. And then it might be not as easy for you, like mentally, to change, but really have the right team. Okay, you need to have a doctor who's supporting you. Most probably your doctor will not be present. Okay, the doctor only comes at the very end when you fully dilated, and if you have a very smooth birth, you just breathe out your baby and your doctor was not there. Okay, so don't have this personal attachment also, but know that you have someone who is on your side with your birth wishes. Yeah, because if you have a doctor who doesn't like water birth and you really want to do water birth, then that's maybe not the right doctor you should be choosing. Okay, so as the partner, husband, you need to know this birth plan. Okay, if you want your wife to, for example, not have epidural, all right? So here, for example, is no epidural, this last point, and pethidine, then if they come up and say like, hey, I see it's a bit struggling, why don't you take a bit, like, no, okay, this birth plan, you're the one to talk to, okay? If they tell you, hey, listen, we really need to do this right now, like we really need to break the water, and your plan is no artificial or not breaking the water. Here, for example, the second point, it says natural water rupture. This means that your water is not being ruptured throughout this birthing process. And they tell you, yeah, I think we should, it will just fasten this process, and your partner doesn't want to, then don't try to convince, okay? Really be on your partner's side and try to question them, the healthcare provider, okay? As in why? What's the benefit? Right? What's the risks here? So really take this as your plan, okay? As your birth wish. I know it does not always go as planned, but at least this is your guideline, okay? So that you don't say, for example, one birth, baby did meconium, first poop, okay? And then this doctor on shift was like, listen, I don't want you to be in the water. I want you to be on the bed. We want to monitor you for 2 hours. Now, this would have ruined the whole birth for her, okay? It would have changed everything because lying on your back makes your surges very, very terrible, okay? They're inefficient and they're not nice because you need to move through. So the husband was like, hey, you know, they want you to go on the bed just for an hour. I already negotiated down to an hour. You okay? So I was like, listen, did you ask them if they ask a doctor? And so it's like, no, I did not. So I was like, okay, just ask, let them ask your doctor if you really need to go on the bed. So as soon as he mentioned this doctor and said, hey, listen, did you check with our doctor? Because we really want water birth. This doctor was all of a sudden like, okay, fine, you can stay in water. So all of a sudden there was no issue, right? And now when it comes to meconium, they just want to monitor the baby more often. And they did. So they just came in and checked with the fetal Doppler, the heartbeat of the baby for a while. But she was able to birth and literally birth in the bathtub. So her birth did not change. Okay, so that's what I really want you to know. You can ask them. You don't need to submit, of course, if there's any medical necessity, no questions asked, yeah, but really always know your rights and try to stick to this birth plan as much as you can, okay? If you need templates, there's a lot of templates online. I think I've shared one on my email. I can share it again at some point if anyone needs it. So yeah, so know her birth plan by heart, stand up for it. Why is it so strict about meconium? Is this message directly to me? Then I answer it after. Maybe just say yes. If it's for everyone, I can. Okay, I think I will just reply for everyone. So why is it so strict about meconium and getting out of the water? So meconium means that the baby did the first poop. Now, if the baby did the first poop, this could be because you're overdue, because the baby's in distress. And what might happen is because the baby is breathing in, but the amniotic fluid throughout this birthing process, and they are worried that it's just if the baby breathes in this meconium, that some damage inside can happen, which is possible, but that's why they want to monitor the baby's heart rate to see if everything is going well. Okay, but you can monitor the heart rate as well in water, especially if you have these wireless CTGs, okay? So if you have a wireless CTG, you can measure in water as well. Or if you have a fetal Doppler and the doctors know what they do, they can also keep on measuring the heartbeat. Yeah, so that's why it just really needs to be a bit more cautious of like measuring the baby's heart rate. Yeah, just because they should not be swallowing the meconium. That's it. Yeah, so one good thing is that whenever they ask you to do something different, you ask the brain method, okay? The brain method is you always ask what's the benefits, what's the risks, what's the alternatives, what is your intuition saying, and what if we don't do anything? Okay, so let's say they want you to be birthing on the back. Okay, so they're like, no, we only birth on the back here. We don't do birthing squatting, and squatting is the position to birth in. Okay, so you ask like, why? What's the benefits right now here? You know that we are birthing on our back. You know it's a bit safer for the baby because it might not fall on the floor. The baby will not fall on the floor. Okay, it's a smooth process of coming out normally, and the midwife should be down there getting your baby. Okay. So then you ask them, okay, what's the risks here if we go on our back? There is no risk, but in the end, you know, you have inefficient surges, you're closing your tailbone, so you know you don't have the perfect space for the baby to come out. Like if you go on toilet, you will not lay on the toilet either, right? You will be sitting. If you go into nature, you'll be squatting. Same process here. And you can ask, hey, what's the alternatives, right? Like, I mean, squatting is a good birthing position. Yeah, it's good. Okay, and then what does your intuition say? No, we really want to birth on our on the floor, squatting, or in the bathtub. And what if, then you can also ask, what if we don't do anything? Okay, what if we just stay in this position? Now you can apply this model to everything. Okay, any question comes up, any changes, any suggestions, just really brain. Okay, use your brain, ask benefits, risks, alternatives, intuition, nothing. Okay. All right. So just to recapture again, again, your role is to support your wife at home as long as possible so that she remains at home as long as she can. Know her birth plan, really stand up for it. Use the brain method if anything as in changes are being suggested. Also, if you need to fight for her wishes, like the bathtub, for example, ask always to call the doctor or to change the midwife. And if you need to talk, discuss anything with them, please go outside, give your wife, partner the space still to birth in peace, and always remain calm. Yeah, really, your energy is reflecting. If you are panicking, that's not helpful. Yeah, because she will feel it. Okay, and she will panic as well, which means it makes the birth process then a little bit more challenging. Okay, so if you panicking, just take the laughing gas and enjoy this laugh for a few seconds. Awesome. Okay, so now what's my mission here? Of course, I want to guide any woman in this call. I want to guide every woman, whoever is ready for guidance throughout this whole pregnancy, because you know, it's such an important journey. You should be prepared for your birth, for your pregnancy. You should be really enjoying this with mindfulness. And I know we have a lot of stress throughout the days. So really know there is meditations, there's breathing techniques, there's yoga, Pilates, whatever. So this is my mission, to really guide you through every aspect of this whole pregnancy, and to prepare you towards your empowered birth, and to support you also through this motherhood. So, you know, everyone prepares only for birth, but then motherhood comes and we're like, is this why, you know, why weren't we prepared for this? And I don't want you to be left alone there. So this is my aim, to really be on your side. And this is what I'm doing, for example, with my doula support, with my mentoring. I'm really by every woman's side throughout this whole pregnancy and beyond. So yeah, so these are positive birth experiences. I mean, I'm not going to let you read through it all, but they're good. So usually I have nice birth, short birth, with my mommies. So yeah, so if you don't have questions right now, yes, please go also write your questions. But yes, so if ever you feel like, hey, okay, I really want to speak more with you, know more about this mentoring you do, this is a QR code. You can just scan it. You can go on my website um, and book a call with me. I'm happy to take some time with you and go through whatever you would like to go through, and explain to you how I work with my mommies and my women who are in this mentoring. Okay, so questions. Now just go ahead. I'm using Gentle Birth app for meditation and breathing techniques, plus, plus following me. It's so sweet. Yeah, so I'm sharing a lot on Instagram as well. But definitely there's so much, you know, you can really learn throughout this whole pregnancy and birth and postpartum time. So yeah, that's very good though, that you'd use already something. Can we have the Zoom record? Yeah, so this is recorded, and definitely will be shared via email to everyone who signed up for this call. And yeah, so that is really nice to go through again, just to learn, write down some notes as well. Sometimes it's not enough to just do once, especially for your partners. It's, you know, whole new process, and I really want you to rock this birth of your partner. Yeah. Okay, please go ahead if anyone has the question, just write them. I'm still going to be here for a few minutes, and for whoever doesn't have any questions anymore, thank you all for joining. I'm very happy to have this beautiful call. Yeah, I think there were quite some people here. So yeah, this means a lot that you're all wanting to prepare for your birth, and especially the partners to prepare for your wives. And you're going to be amazing. Okay. So thank you so much. I took epidural. Okay, I took epidural with my first kid. What signs should I consider before opting for it again? Would I be able to do without any drugs? So definitely without any drugs. I'm not the biggest fan of epidural, just because we really underestimate the effects an epidural has. Now you gave birth vaginally, I guess, which means now the second birth will be probably also even faster. So it might mean that you will not have the time also to take an epidural. So I would really learn any method to cope with pain. Yeah, so it's good, you know. I have support, for example, my last birth, second last birth, she barely made it to the hospital. Okay, so we barely, yeah, we nearly birthed in the car. But again, not the first birth. Okay, it's the second one, vaginal as well. But she had epidural. She was induced, so of course she took the epidural. But learn the breathing method, how to just breathe throughout the surge. And now, I don't know how far you were when you took the epidural, but sometimes because we're too fast in the hospital, we're a bit overwhelmed with the whole process. So, of course, it seems to be very painful. But if you are at home in your comfort zone, you're taking a shower, you're taking a bath, it's really much easier to handle. You have your partner doing hip squeeze. You really need to be prepared for this, okay? To go through it naturally. And I'm sure you can. No one, literally, two of my mommies only had epidurals. No one else had epidural. And they are incredible. I had one woman, she was like, oh, I'm having period cramps. This would be the time where I take my pain medication. And she did 10 hours without anything, you know, just laughing gas. So first you try it home, then you go to the hospital. And the thing you try is really laughing gas for a long time, okay? And I'm sure you will do it without anything. Okay, so what are your thoughts on pethidine? Yeah, pethidine, also it's a pain killer. It's administered in the thighs, and you will feel the surge, but you will not feel the pain. Okay, so you will feel the surge, but you will not feel the pain. So pethidine is a bit, I would say, better than epidural, but because epidural stops your birthing process. Okay, so your brain does not understand. It's like, still having contractions, or what is this, right? So that's why pethidine might be a bit easier, but because you might open up very fast, and if this pethidine, it lasts for 4 hours, is still in your blood, it has an effect on your baby. Okay, so you don't want to have an effect on like breathing or so. So if you think, hey, no, definitely only pethidine, take it early on. They will not administer after 3-4 centimeters also, because then it might go too fast and you are on pethidine when the baby comes, which is not good. Okay, so we stay almost 30 minutes away from the hospital. So would you recommend to rush to hospital after water breaks, or just stay at home? Yes, 30 minutes is quite normal here, so don't rush to the hospital, please. Wait until your surges are really developed. Your water breaks doesn't mean anything. Is this your first or your second? If it's your first, definitely you have so much time at home, okay? So really, when you have surges one after the other and you're not able to talk anymore as a person, this is when you go. Okay, but other than that, it can be just too early and you don't want to end up having any interventions. Okay, really stay at home as long as you can. Okay, so laughing gas did not work for you at all. Now, it really depends on how you take laughing gas, okay? Laughing gas, really take it in, deep breath, deep out, and you do this 3, 4, 5 times, and normally it works. And I want you to try it over a period, okay? So not just once and you're like, "Ugh, no, try it again and again, because you might have first this effect of like, ugh, that's disgusting, or "Oh, it's difficult to breathe in." So really try it out before. But the combs are amazing. The massage gun is really good. The hip squeeze. Okay, so really train this before also, so that you and your husband are like one team. You can use the laughing gas inside the bathtub, yes. Usually the hospitals, at least here, have it. Yeah, so that's no issues. Okay, that's even the best thing. So the laughing gas is in Dubai is not as strong as in the UK. Probably. Okay, so to Brian Fernandez. Okay, so it's your second. Now, um, if your water breaks and you had before that already surges for a while, if you hit like every 3 minutes, go to the hospital, okay? Every 3 minutes, because then it might go fast to every 2 minutes, every 1 minute, okay? If your water breaks and it's like every 3 minutes, all of a sudden, then go, okay? If it's still like nothing at all, every 10 minutes, then of course you still have time, yeah? Um, um, Good to know that CM are the combs, is it? Or what do you mean with CM? So the painkiller in the pool, I mean, the water is incredible, guys. Yeah, really don't underestimate the water. It will make you feel less because the heat is releasing endorphins in our body. Okay, endorphins is our natural painkiller. So really, if you have the chance, go and do the water birth. Most beautiful birth I have ever seen, the most beautiful babies as well I have seen, like not beautiful as it looks, but they peaceful. You cannot imagine a water birth baby is so incredibly peaceful. Okay. And whatever you interfere with, like let's say epidural, pethidine, pitocin, all this, it's drugs which go into your baby. Okay. So I really want you to understand that this goes into your baby's brain and is there for a while. So you have a clingy baby, you have a crying baby, and all this for like a month and two, just because your baby is on withdrawal. Okay. So that's why, like, all those drugs don't come without any consequence. Yeah. So really try your best. And I know you are amazing. I know all of us can birth. We're the strongest mammoths on earth. Okay, ladies. So really, I know you'll be able to. And have your partner confirm this. Just affirmations. You are incredible. Okay. I do a lot of this mindset work, manifestation. So really, if you feel like you need some extra help here, definitely recommend it. Book a call with me, and I'm happy to talk about whatever is possible. CM is the person offering me this valuable info about UK laughing gas strength. Okay. Um, would you recommend to go to bathtub if water breaks, although we are not doing water birth? Yes, definitely. Go to the bathtub just because it's pain relieving, okay? Water is your natural painkiller here. Your water breaks, go into the bathtub at home, especially for the first birth of the year. If your surgery start and you feel like, okay, should I go to the hospital? First thing you do is take a bath. If your surgeries continue, this means you might be in active labor, which means you might be um, yeah, I have a backup doula, by the way. So, but my mentoring is completely different. I prepare you, your partner, as much as you can. I'm virtually available for calls, for text messages as well. So, um, I know I'm due now, but if anyone wants to be prepared in the best way possible, then please book a call here. I'm preparing you and your partner even more. Today was just like 1 hour. How much can I talk, right, in this 1 hour? But I'm doing calls with the partners. I'm doing calls with the ladies on a weekly basis. We have pediatricians, doctors, gynecologists, physios, whatever, available in these calls, so that you really have like a nice support throughout this whole pregnancy on a weekly basis. And yeah, you will learn all about water birth and the benefits. So Brian, I'm not sure why you don't want to be birthing or your wife doesn't want to be birthing water, but I'm telling you, water is the best experience you can have. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Any more questions? I love how everyone is so engaging. Do you have any hospital? Yeah. So ladies, whoever's in the UAE at least, there is a few hospitals which have water birth. My favorite is Faki University in Silicon. Why? It's because they have 8 rooms with water birth. Everyone is trained on water birth. You will not need to argue with any of those midwives. They are fully supportive in a pro-natural birth. So if your aim is to have a really natural birth, water birth, if you want the best team around you, definitely this hospital. I know there's Parkview, which is good. There's King's. Of course, these are very good hospitals as well. It just sometimes you might be fighting a little bit for your rights of water or for your rights in general. Reflected. Well, you're more than welcome. Come. No, but even UK, I mean, you're blessed to have, for example, home birth, which is amazing. Yeah. You have support at home with midwives and doulas and all. So that's incredible as well, right? Now, I know the differences, for example, to Germany, and I really see how it's not, when you say Parkview, is it City? Yeah, so how, how it's very medicalized. So that's why I really have be prepared. Okay. Preparation is so important because you don't want to be going against the medical system. You want to know your rights, because many times we just submit to this medical system and then hence having maybe traumatic birth. And this is something really what we don't want. So Parkview is a different one. City Hospital, so both are Mediclinic. Parkview is in Arjan and City Hospital is in Utmeta. Both are, I mean, both are good. It really depends on who your doctor is. I think City Hospital is better when it comes to midwives, because they are more, yeah, better, longer team, like older team. But I mean, really, if you have not decided yet 100%, go check out Faki. I can only recommend. Most of my births are there now. It's just different level, okay? Really different level. Yeah. Yeah, you're most welcome. Okay, so we are going to King's London. Yeah, so King's, they have one water birth room. Depends on your doctor, to be honest. If you feel the midwife talks too much or is pushy, send her out. Yeah, that's my recommendation. If they tell you not to use the bathtub, tell her, no, we want to use the bathtub, and like really stay in for your rights, okay? So this is all I can say. I mean, to be honest, from all the hospitals I had, the nicest one was in Faki and the second nicest one were in Parkview. Yeah, but doesn't mean anything, okay? So it just, those few births really depends on your doctor there, okay? Yeah, so I wish you all a beautiful birth. Whoever wants to reach out, please reach out. And if there's any other questions, no? Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for taking part in this call. Have a lovely evening. If you have questions, just book a call and just talk with me there. Okay, beautiful. So I wish you all a beautiful night. Yes, and thank you for taking part again. Good night.